If that's all right with you. Shakti, just tell us when it's live stream.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the ninth lecture of the Dean's 70th Anniversary Lecture Series. We have today with us a very distinguished guest, Shri Bharat Lal. He is the Secretary General and the CEO of the National Human Rights Commission of India. Now, as we all know, and I would like to inform our distinguished guest that we have completed 70 years of establishment of our school, and to mark that, under the initiative, under the leadership of our dean, Professor Gawatu, we are organizing a series of events to celebrate the 70 years of our school. And the 70th anniversary lecture series is part of that. Now I will hand over the proceedings to our dean to conduct the session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vineet, and very good morning to you all. It's my great honor and privilege to uh, preside over the ninth anniversary lecture. As you know, and as Vineet pointed out, the School of International Studies is celebrating its 70 years, and we are going to continue the celebrations till October this year. It was in 1955 that Vice President Radhakrishnan inaugurated the then Indian School of International Studies, which became one of the founding schools of the Jawaharlal Nehru University in 1969. Through these years, the School of International Studies and its precursor, the Indian School of International Studies, has established itself as the leading center for thinking, writing, teaching, research on key issues that impact India and the world. The contributions of the School of International Studies through these years are far too many for me to list them out on this occasion. Let me say that SIS and its MA program has today been identified as one of the five most exciting programs globally. We pride ourselves on those MA programs, but also pride ourselves of the fact that our alumni body is today comprises of some of the most distinguished thinkers and people in public life, including the External Affairs Minister, Dr. Subramaniam Jai Shankar, the Finance Minister who presented a stellar budget, giving all, or at least a section of the middle class, a great sense of relief. Nirmala Sitharaman is also an alumnus of this school. Today, it's our great honor to welcome Shri Bharat Lal, who is the Secretary General and Chief Executive Officer of the National Human Rights Commission of India since July 2023. The Dean's lectures usually have only invited academics, but we have occasionally decided to make an exception for those who are so distinguished and whose area of work is so important to the School of International Studies that even if they are not academics in a formal sense, they're certainly worthy of being part of the Dean's lectures. And in that, I count the first exception in Shri Bharat Lal. Shri Bharat Lal joined the Indian Administrative Service in July 1988. And before joining the National Human Rights Commission, he served as the Director General, National Center of Good Governance, an autonomous institution of the Government of India. And prior to that, he had served as a Secretary to the Lokpal of India, the anti-corruption body of the country. He also served as the founder, mission director of the National Jal Jeevan Mission, a flagship program of the Prime Minister to ensure clean, potable water, tap water to every household in the country. He was member of the core team managing the COVID-19 pandemic. And while we were talking in my office informally, he talked about how at a critical juncture, he had to choose between a career School of International Studies and there are School of Life Sciences in JNU abroad on a Commonwealth scholarship. but decided that in favor of the Indian Administrative Services, but there was a convergence between his passion for science and especially life sciences and biotechnology when he joined the Ministry, the Department of Biotechnology, and played also a critical role in terms of the indigenous development of the anti-COVID vaccine, which, as we know, has arguably the fewest contraindications. He has worked, apart from human rights, and sanitation, tribal rights, environment, poverty alleviation, water security, and he has also served as additional secretary to the President of India. He's also remembered for his pioneering, really exemplary tenure as the resident commissioner of Gujarat. He was responsible for investment promotion in Gujarat and its diplomatic outreach. I attended when I was in Melbourne, one of the vibrant Gujarat summits, and that was an extraordinary display of what was happening in Gujarat under the then leadership of the current Prime Minister and then Chief Minister, Shri Narendra Modi. And at least a small part of the credit for that success must be given to Shri Bharat Lal and his vast experience in policy making at the highest level, both in the state as well as at the center, and his current duties as Secretary General and Chief Executive Officer of the Human Rights Commission. You will agree with me, makes him an exceptional case to deliver one of the ninth Dean's lecture for this year. It's with great pleasure and a great honor that I invite Shri Bharat Lal to deliver a lecture on the human rights in a globalized world. I would also like to thank my colleague, Professor Shantesh Singh, Professor Shantesh Singh, who is the Director of Human Rights Program, for helping to facilitate Shri Bharat Lal's visit, and all my distinguished colleagues and faculty members and students who are connected here. Shri Bharat Lal.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, and good morning to you all. Professor Mattu, Dr. Vineet Prakash, Dr. Santesh Kumar Singh, esteemed faculty members and students. Indeed, it's a great privilege for me to be here, and I feel honored. And thank you very much for for kind words. Friends, I have come here. I mean, as you understand, I may not be a very suitable person for delivering any academic talk, but certainly, I would like to share a few things. Whatever I was taught, what I carried forward, and more importantly, how we try to give back to society. Your small intervention and how changes people's lives. And when we talk about human rights in globalized world, I think each one of you sitting here, the students or the faculty member, I think you know more than me. There's a civic and political rights or socioeconomic and cultural rights. But what I'll try to do in next 30, 35 minutes, whatever time is there. I would like to give one perspective actually. That's very important to understand. And in this perspective, after that, I mean, whatever clarification are required, I'll First and foremost, let's understand that we all agree that human right is a very basic right. Each and every individual has that right, inalienable, and must enjoy those rights. That cannot be negotiated. Now, the second issue always comes basically when we go on international fora, that different countries, different culture, the way they perceive it. And in case of India, as you understand that one issue again and again keeps on coming, that a kind of impression is being given that basically when it comes to human rights, it is the UDHR which is the starting point. Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948 is the starting point. I think the first and foremost thing I would like to share here that most of us actually, including people like Nation Human Rights Commission and so many, academic and other people feel that perhaps that is not the correct picture of this country. A country of 5,000 years old civilization has where learning actually spiritualism, pursuit of knowledge has always been, put on premium. So let's see first about India. That in a country like ours, if you see human right, and let's try to interpret it, what Buddhism taught us, basically. The whole religion, how it originated, how it is spread. Take after Kalinga War, what Ashoka did, or take all the four religions which were born in on this subcontinent and rather India. Take about Hinduism, take about Buddhism, take about Jainism, take about Sikhism. All basically talk about sacrifice, talk about non-violence, talk about thinking about others, not only about self, but thinking about others. Let's be proud of that the four religions who came from West Asia, whether it's Islam or Christianity or Judaism or Zoroastrianism, they all flourished in this country. They all flourished in this country. If you see the empathy and compassion is the hallmark of our society. If you see the Indian society, since ages, India never attacked any country, never waged war. India always, it is the Indian ethos basically, which always believes in empathy, compassion, universal brotherhood, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. I mean, these are the basic. The next point, let's try to see it, that whosoever came to India at different point of time, India welcomed it. And if you see last 70, 80 years of since independence, think about partition. People came from all Indian, at that time, undivided India. More importantly, think about, Tibetan refugee, think about people from East Pakistan, think about from Sri Lanka, think about Myanmar, take an African countries, So this country always, whatever little bit we have, that show. After that also, if you see our foreign policy, it is not a very, in typical sense, that very muscular interventionist, foreign policy. We always try to provide helping hand, whatever we have. I have been a part of that exercise when vaccine was being developed, our testing kits during COVID-19. Imagine India in the beginning in March, April 2020. We didn't have kits. We were bringing from China actually, and whole world was bringing, and most of the people were able to throw, dollar and this thing, and hardly we used to get, But people of this country, young scientists, they rose to occasion, government supported, people supported, and within 3 months, basically, by testing kits were started getting, produced here in this country, and we started supplying not only to India but whole world. Similarly, take vaccine. When vaccine was developed, as you all know, that we started at that point of time, everybody was not vaccinated, but we started supplying vaccine to different countries. There were other countries we had vaccine, but were not willing. For them, and rightly so, there is nothing wrong in that philosophy. It is their philosophy, their governance model, that their people came first. But see a country like India, that in those starting from April 21, we started supplying and sharing with other countries. The point I'm trying to make is that in a globalized world, when we talk about human rights, when we talk about right, it is not about talking, it is about practicing. Whatever we talk, we practice it. And let's be very proud of this country. And here, all of you are a student of international studies. Think about any other constitution. Very first day when constitution was being made or when it was adopted, all civic and political rights were given to everybody. Women need not to struggle at that point of time to get those rights here. See the concept of this, In fact, recently I was in Davos, and one question was posed to me. Actually, it was a very politically loaded question. Actually, that the presenter, this lady was from ABC and CBS News actually, and she asked that how is it so that in US they are unable to elect a woman as a president of India, whereas a country like India has been doing it, And she asked that, and she asked very specifically that, like, we would like to hear your comment on the US election and US, this thing. And I very well said that, look, my culture doesn't teach me to comment on others. I'm not here to comment on. Am I audible? No, I think there is something. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Sorry. I think there is some.
Yeah. For the live streaming, this is working.
No, this one. I think there's some loose wire. This one.
Let it be. So let it be. Yeah.
No,
So why did you come here?
There is one wire is loose actually. That's it. So I told him that this is our cultural issue. We don't comment on internal matter of any other country. But yes, there are other countries in the world who love to comment about others actually. But when we see actually women, think about it, that in this country, at political level, not only in this country, this subcontinent, starting from Srimao Bandaranaike to Golda Meir to India to East Bangladesh to Pakistan to Myanmar, go to Philippines, This Asia has some certain values, certain common ethos actually, where we don't that women are some kind of, they have secondary, or people are obnoxious about certain issues and they are not willing to give them power. No, this country doesn't have this thing. And the point I made actually that, look, so far as India is concerned, when you are electing your representative, in my view, hardly it matters. In fact, here everybody, especially esteemed faculty, you understand this aspect better. There could be n number of consideration while voting. But when it comes to electing, that gender is there could be a region when political parties are not giving ticket. But say that when people are voting, gender matters, I refuse to believe it. Whatever data and whatever I have seen, that we refuse to believe it. So coming to the human right aspect, that when it comes to civic and political rights in this country, I think we all know that they are guaranteed under the Constitution. Fundamental rights is there, and more importantly, that Supreme Court is a custodian, those rights, and the kind of power it has been given. Every citizen has been given power under Article 32 of the Constitution. That yes, you can approach to the court. That this thing, the power to writs, and Article 226 to high courts. I think you understand this power. That yes, fundamental rights is enforceable, and Supreme Court as well as High Court take proactive step. That is the first part we have to come to. The second aspect is about socio-economic and cultural right. In my opinion, a homeless person. But no, you will find homeless person. Every block you will find that 5, 6, 7, 10 families are there. But think about India. This government, the kind of policies have been adopted in this country, what is called no one is left out, that each and every family or person to be given a house. It has to be given a toilet, electricity connection, water, clean water, cooking gas, the basic amenities. When we talk about civic and political right, we tend to forget about, you will see the most of the narrative and most of the talk is confined about civic and political right, and that to few cases here and there. But in a country like India, when basically we are focused on ensuring that people enjoy their socio-economic and cultural rights, we tend to forget, that this is the massive work which is going on. And this is the message. This is the culture of this country. This is the ethos of this country. I think you should be very proud of that. This was India under India G20 presidency. It was thought about that African Union, 1.4 billion people had their voice on table of G20. This is the value India brings when it comes to human right or any issues. When it comes to peacekeeping forces, India is the biggest contributor everywhere. We contribute in peacemaking. As we all know that violence or terrorism, they are the worst basically phase of any kind of human right violation. Yesterday I was talking to somebody that is it possible that world can think of that please visit Gaza or Ukraine and have a look at what we call Kalinga moment. Can world leaders can go and visit these places? That the kind of realization Ashoka had that point of time. Is it possible that today modern leadership goes to Gaza and goes to Ukraine and see the plight and maybe? But no, I think we are not doing that kind of diplomacy, that kind of sensitivity. And and that's why Ashoka is called the Great. This is the Indian culture, this is the Indian ethos, this is the Indian value system, and this is precisely this what we call about India when we see it human right in globalized world. As you all have seen that when it comes to war or terrorism, I think India's stand is very, very, very clear that whether terrorism or war, no, I think it's a huge violation of human right, and that is unacceptable. Now coming to National Human Rights Commission, let me just share a few things about this commission. That as you know, that it was created in 1993. It is a statutory body, and it's a 6-member body, chairperson and 5 members basically, and 3% come from judiciary and 3% from non-judicial background basically, whether it's administrator or activists or human rights defenders actually. And chairperson is the rank of Chief Justice of India, and members are Judge of Supreme Court. And there is a Secretary General and CEO, which at the moment I'm in that position. The working of National Human Rights Commission is that we are responsible for, as per mandate, within the country, protection, promotion of human right within the country. So we are not basically that if human right violation is taking place somewhere outside, that complaint comes and we entertain so that is one distinction we have to understand this thing. As per institutional framework, that at the state level there are state human rights commissions in India. Just imagine, country of 1.4 billion people of India, 1.4 billion people of, let's say, Africa, 700 odd million people of European Union. In this country, you have at national level National Human Rights Commission, at the state level state human rights commissions. Then you have sectoral commission at the national level, National Commission for Scheduled Castes, Scheduled Tribe, women, minorities, backward classes, children, child rights, and Chief Commissioner for Disabilities. So the institutional framework is, and all these commissions are member in the National Human Rights Commission, and these institutions also have their state counterpart. So what we have done basically at National Human Rights Commission, now we have developed a kind of online complaint management system where anybody and everybody, but I mean these all these institutions, they use the same system. So at least there is no duplication, and there is you are able to coordinate. So see the institutional framework for this country. In Africa, for a country of 1.4 billion people, there are roughly, I think, 36, 37 national human rights institutions in those countries. Take Europe, same number. Take India, it has much larger, this thing. When it comes to autonomy, in fact, there is a system actually, as you might, few of you are interested in this thing. UN Human Rights Council basically has one body which is known as Global Alliance for National Human Rights Institution, GANDRI. And it's a very peculiar agreement. I think as a student of international studies, you must learn this politics actually. UN Human Rights Council has created, or national human rights institution of different countries have come together, and global alliance of national human rights institution has been created. So GANDRI is basically a kind of alliance. Now GANDRI has evolved a system where national human rights institution of different countries are given accreditation. There are 4 regional such association or alliances: Asia Pacific, Americas, Africa, and Europe. From each these country, one member is there in GANDRI, Global Alliance of National Human Rights Institution. And this 4-member committee is known as Subcommittee on Accreditation. My humble request is, please go on the website of GANDRI, look at the countries who have been given accreditation as A category national human rights institution, and other categories B category of human rights institution, and third not accredited. Just look at those institutions or those countries. Look. So Subcommittee on Accreditation is managed by UN Human Rights Council. Okay. A category institution, there are 86 or 87 institutions. And basic principle is that there is what we call Paris principle, that national human rights institutions should be independent, autonomy, functional autonomy, financial autonomy, and this. If you compare the power, mandate, responsibility of anywhere in the world, I mean, hats off to those people who, when this Statute of Protection of Human Rights Act was basically enacted, yet to see such a powerful institution. The kind of independence, the autonomy, like its budget, the commission approves, send it to government provide that. Its appointment all, they come. Just for your information, I will digress for 2-3 minutes and explain you a few things which is very important for you to understand the kind of politics takes place at that level. If you look at the 86 countries, you will find that they are absolute monarchies. There are any kind of countries, right? They will say that here Paris principle is not followed because you don't advertise the post of chairperson or members. That is one. The committee for selection is that under the Prime Minister, Home Minister, 2 leaders of opposition in both the houses of Parliament, plus Speaker of the House and Deputy Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. The 6-member committee selects this thing. So one issue has been raised that India is not following Paris principle. Imagine in this kind, there is not enough representation for civil society or people. These are 6. I don't know what to call them. These 6 people, selection committee is not. This is one issue. Then second, they will say that, well, government official, people like me have been deputed to National Human Rights Commission, and we are supposed to protect and promote human rights of people. So there is a conflict of interest. Just for your information, I will tell that if somebody is posted is not posted basically National Human Rights Commission. Like when I was selected by Lokpal, it was based on my credential. A panel goes there and chairperson selects for this thing and then posted. Actually, same thing. Just imagine if in a country like India, you have to talk to all secretaries, coordinate with them. You have to talk to chief secretaries, DGP, you know, tell me what is the alternative in this country. Somebody should tell us that what is the alternative. That if chief executive of this organization is not drawn from civil services, how to manage, who is going to do it? The third thing is they will say that, well, we have police officers also here in the institution who are responsible for investigation. Well, unfortunately, in India, except police officer and except for matrimonial or other thing, there might be some agencies who might be doing some investigation. I don't think in a country like India. And we pointed out that the last person which we had taken as Director General Investigation, he has worked for 7 years in UN, sitting in New York, and basically doing the same job. And we have selected that person. And then he worked for 7 years in CBI actually, and then we have selected that person. That the limited point I'm trying to make is that this kind of double standard in the garb of human right, you try to impose your value system. You try to impose that certain Western countries, certainly they try to impose a certain value system, that their human right, their understanding of human right, the way they are doing it, that is probably applicable for India, and India should do it. My request and suggestion to you is that all those who have interest must read about Paris Principle, must read Protection of Human Rights Act 1993 and amendment which has been carried out about India, and just look at the members, different countries. That and 86 countries you can understand. I don't want to name the countries, and they will try to there, as you rightly said, and beautiful topic has been picked up, that human right in globalized world. The issue will come. Well, XYZ has not been granted FCRA clearance. So it is a civic and political rights, so some kind of violation. They want some people, they will give you lecture that, well, certain foreign countries has got divine power that they must keep on funding in India. It is their right, and if funding is not going, then it's a violation. And those countries or those institutions, whether they follow the rules and regulation of the country, no, that is not true. And more importantly, National Human Rights Commission is not our mandate. National Human Rights Commission mandate is not that somebody has got the FCRA license or not, somebody is able to get a fund from foreign countries or not. That's not our mandate. National Human Rights Commission should be judged about its mandate. This is about autonomy. It's a kind of work it does. But the political part, every time political part, if you go to, although you have gone to Geneva, you will see that when sessions are there, some activists, somebody will be, it's a well-known that, somebody funds them and they will go and they will put 10 some kind of exhibits there and some kind of, and those for 1 week, 10 days, those kind of things will be posters and exhibits will be there, and you can make out what is happening, this thing. So my request is that when it comes to human rights in globalized world, there could be India narrative. What is that narrative? Narrative is no one should be left behind. People should be. India has the right and the power and the authority that it will decide its course. If India decides that, yes, poorest are the poor, or let's say people who are earning 1 lakh rupees per person, they need not to pay tax. That is the way India is working. Or each and every person should have, family should have a house. Or each and every person have a toilet. People who are coming from rural area background or have visited, just think about when I joined service, imagine, and women have to wait till darkness to descend and then only they can go to ease themselves. Is not a human right? The dignity itself. That imagine young girls, women, if they have to go to toilet, they have to wait actually. They have to wait for darkness. Is it not human right? If this country has constructed 12 crore human toilets, is it not we are not working on human right, people? If think about, in any other cooking gas, or let's say 15 crore plus household, I was fortunate enough to given the responsibility to start this work, Jal Jeevan Mission, clean tap water. Just ensuring each and every family clean tap water. Is it not part of human right? I think we have to start thinking that what we call Indian way. Our foreign minister who I spoke, about that's an Indian way of thinking, Indian way of doing, If you think about that, I had the opportunity to meet Honorable President of Sri Lanka actually 1.5 years back. I went there actually. It was just after Sri Lanka, the problem and all those things. I gave him one example and I would like to share here it for the benefit of all of you. See, in Sri Lanka, my understanding is that roughly 16% people are government employees. 16% people are government employees. So please understand its significance in politics. If 16% people and their family member are happy, that government is happy, can be continued. Because every family might be that husband, wife, both are working, but 2, 3, 4, 5 members. Now, what India did actually, and see this part, when we talk about equality, justice, liberty, fraternity, but see how it is played out and practiced out. In India, what used to be system, let's say go to 15 years back, 20 years back, we had also worked in government at that point of time. I need 100 pens, this 100 notebooks. What will happen? Our section officer and the secretary used to happen, pick up phone, talk to one person, please send 3 quotations, invoice or bill, and these 2 items. Where is the competition? How somebody can enter? When we were applying for government job or civil services, I have to first find out a class 1 officer to get my paper attested. Just imagine if I am living in a rural area and somewhere, how to get that access? But what India did actually, that yes, every youth cannot be given government job because it will become unproductive. What it started, that yes, develop e-marketplace. That government, whatever purchase has to do, it has to be done from this e-marketplace. B, any youth, anybody can become supplier. C, if any youth want to become, here is collateral-free loan. That under Mudra Yojana, imagine 56 crore loans have been distributed. 56 crore loan from 50,000 to 5 lakh rupees have been distributed. Now, this is the concept of equality and giving equal opportunity. That anybody, if government is purchasing, government is doing, it will be equal opportunity is given. So if you see at every level, when it comes to digital governance, you see the use of digital technology, you will find this kind of, and that's why, in fact, I pointed out that this is the way, you democratize the government in day-to-day functioning, give equal opportunity to each and every person. And that is the way India is working. So my friends, my limited point which I wanted to make to you is that yes, there is an Indian way of looking at the whole thing. In a country like India, when it comes to human right, well, under Constitution, it is protected. Civic and political rights have been given. Fundamental rights, courts are there to protect it. B, irrespective of any government comes. It is a directive principle of a state policy, which is a kind of Magna Carta for our governance. It is the letter and spirit, the way it is done. And the policies which have been adopted today is that socio-economic and cultural rights are equally important. And each and every family, especially those who are who have been left behind in this development, they should also come forward. And GNU is one of the finest examples. Hesitation in saying, no hesitation in saying, and I openly say everywhere that this is the institution which is a prime example for giving equal opportunity. That people who can, and I'm very proud of it. I mean, I was mentioning, I didn't know anybody. I came here, I wrote exam, I qualified, I got admission, but of course I had to leave at that point after some time. That is the way India is working. It means every part of society, every part, whether it's academic, it's a government, or it's a elected, this thing. This equality, equal opportunity is ingrained. And we should be very proud of this thing. Nobody should be browbeat us that in India, human right is something, we have to ensure peace, we have to ensure tranquility, we have to ensure, basic amenities so that, take women today. You are able to study here because you have those safety, security, and basic amenities at home. Just think about in rural area. If girls have to walk few hundred meters or kilometer or 2 kilometers to fetch water, when they'll get time to study. If you see the recent data, imagine 46% girls are in STEM actually today in India. I was fortunate to work with Honorable President of India and all these central institutions when we used to go for convocation and all those things. In flight, I used to joke actually that we have to find out where at least some boys should also be there who's receiving some kind of, prize or position, from president. Most of the institution, all toppers used to be girl. At least I saw that. This is the equal opportunity. This is the way kind of work is going on in India, and this is the way we are working. So I'll stop here, and I would not like to go into many detailed political, this thing. So once again, thank you, Professor Nattu, Professor Singh, Professor Vinay Prakashji, and all of you.
Thank you very much, Bharat Lalji, for that superb overview of the Indian way, as well as telling us about how we cope with the international environment and how the Constitution protects not just civil and political rights, but economic and social rights, and even group rights. This is JNU, so I'm sure there are going to be questions and clarifications if that's fine with you. So we'll open it up for questions, clarifications, and we have, as you, sir, pointed out, really students and faculty drawn from the length and breadth of India, and we're really proud of that. So let me open it up to anyone who wants to ask or intervene. Yes, Professor Mandira Sharma, and then the student behind.
Maybe the student first.
No, we'll give it to your grey eminence.
Thank you for that, and thank you very much, the speaker, for giving us.
Yeah. Why don't you use the mic since we are live
Thank you so
streaming?
much for explaining to us the functioning of National Human Rights Commission. My question is very simple actually. For our understanding, can you give us some example of severe form of human rights violation that we might have to deal with as part of the National Human Rights Commission, if it is possible for us?
Would you like to take a few questions and then answer them? Yes, and just identify yourself. Yeah.
My name is Inzam PI. I am a student of MAPA.
Do you have a mic there? Why don't you speak into the microphone?
My name is Inzam. I am a second year student of MAPA. So, thank you very much for the comprehensive view on India's resource on human rights. So, but I think there is also need to be a critical perspective or understanding on the state. So, anyway, I am not an anti-national, I am more national than anyone. So, just asking that, Sonam Wangchuk and others protest on Ladakh was very much concerning of.
So I can't completely you comprehend. Speak slowly. I know that you're from Kerala, which means that you learn like speaking fast, but gradually, slowly.
So the environmental activist Sonam Wangchuk and the indigenous people of Ladakh has been on the strike for the inclusion of sixth schedule for the unit territory of Ladakh. So, what are the reason being the government indifferent or silence to the issue? So, I mean, I know there are contradictions even if it is in foreign policy or domestic politics, but how can we overcome or how can we deal with this issue, especially in the era of planetary crisis? Thank you.
Yeah. He's talking about, for those who didn't understand, the Sonam Wangchu is not on hunger strike right now because he's a Facebook friend. I saw him landing in Leh Airport about half an hour ago. You can check that. But he's a friend of mine. So Sonam Wangchuk has been on fast, but also been protesting against for rights for the people of Ladakh. I have my different views on that, so that is for another lecture uh, because I feel no, I will not say anything right now. Yes, Aprajita.
So very useful lecture on the human rights in a globalized world. My question is, so there are emerging challenges in the digital era, and they pose new kinds of human rights challenges like issues of privacy, surveillance. So how far is our NHRC geared to tackle those kind of challenges?
So why don't you, sir, take three and then we'll take another round.
Yeah, please, sure. Ma'am, I think first I'll come to your questions. Let's, in very short, National Human Rights Commission, any person from anywhere in the country or other planet about violation of human right in India of Indian people or people who are living can file a complaint in any mode, electronic, by post, by all those things. More importantly, any language. In fact, we get out of 22 languages, roughly in 18 languages, we get complaints actually. Complaint varies all kind of, including personal disputes, which you understand, there are issues. Now, National Human Rights Commission, how it function actually. We take action, or state is parasitical organization, they are accountable. So it means we have to pass any order, it means it has to, direction has to go to the state or its agencies. So few examples, let's take, I'll go 2-3 examples. In this country, as you know that roughly, data suggests roughly 15% people of this country are having, and ma'am, this is linked with your question also basically. 15% of people are having some kind of mental health issues. Okay. Think about it, that there are 2-3 stages. That when person really reaches to a stage where there is no choice except to psychologist or psychiatrist or even hospital, person has to be taken. Now, ensuring this health care to these people, to mental health care, it is a duty of the National Human Rights Institution, Commission. And this is one of the most emergent, one of the most serious emerging issues there. So in nutshell, what has been done? All 47 popularly known as mental health hospital or whatever you call it, but we call it mental health institution or mental health establishment. There are 40 such institutions in the country. So National Human Rights Commission itself, plus our special rapporteur, special monitor, visited all these. They saw the conditions of patients, interacted, facilities, doctors, paramedics, all those kind of things. And after that, it came out with its recommendation that ABCD need to be done. 3 things. It was going on. Meanwhile, government came up with Mental Health Care Act in 2017, where one provision has been made that in 10 years, by 2027, 10 years, India will have those kind of, best in the world, basically, human resources dealing with mental health issues. Now, National Human Rights Institution, what is doing? Now it started dialogue with the government that three things. Number, and National Medical Commission also, that A, for what is your plan to have this kind of manpower, human resources in next by 2027? It means you need therapists also, you need psychologists also, you need psychiatrists also, and more importantly, condition of these mental health institutions. So this is one part of it. The second part is that yes, government has to invest in improving the conditions of these institutions, physical and otherwise. The third part is that recruitment, But fourth very interesting part is that please understand, and we are trying to bring and we influence and we are bringing that already it has rolled out, that mental health related issues come in during MBBS, during that study, so that a physician, a family doctor, whenever I go to that person, he or she should also be able to see that I am moving towards that mental health issues, rather than when my condition becomes very bad and then only we are treated and this thing. So this is one of the examples which we would like to give, that A, the issue has been seized, you are working with different institutions, different central government, state government, and these hospitals, actually these mental health institution, plus the curriculum who decides, basically National Medical Commission, that this should be done. This is the first part, one example I'll give. The second part is that now we have issued the guidelines, what we call advisories. Advisories are binding on the government, and as per Act, actually, if government is not agreeing with these advisories, are not ready to implement, government has to go on the floor of the house and lay a report on the table of both the houses, that we are not agreeing with the recommendation of the commission, A, and B, reason thereof. I think you understand, no government would like to disagree. Second emerging issue, and I'll link with this thing. Second emerging issue is two issues: climate and especially business. Business, whether it's a gig workers or gig economy or less private sector, Again, what we do the same thing, actually. That commission, basically not only somebody complained, but we take suo motu cognizance also, that some news report come in newspaper or social media, or we take suo motu cognizance. So like recently we have taken two cognizance, two important, which for example I'll give. One is against Amazon, that they are not given rest also for washroom and those kind of this thing. It came that they have this thing. Second was in Foxconn. The news came that, well, no doubt, very good work, that 97-98% all young women, they are working there. In one factory, 36,000 young women are working. But issue came that they are not allowing married women to join, Foxconn. The case is going on, and we got conflicting report. One report says that yes, some time back this was indirectly they were doing that because Mangal Sutra and all those things, and they are going on the machine and all those kind of issues were. But in both the cases, immediate corrective action have been taken. Both the cases, Foxconn and Amazon. The third example I'll say that about bonded labor. We all know that the kind of cases we get. So on bonded labor, the continuous hearing took place, continuous follow-up took place, and we provided, including and I would say the result is that still we keep on getting some kind of news somewhere, because of economic condition. Take manual scavenging. Manual scavenging was not only that fecal matter is being touched. The most important of late, the issue has emerged actually that people are made to enter into sewer lines, manholes, and septic tanks and clean it. And you understand, report get died. So we have taken this issue and forcing to every state government come out with plan, including robots, bandicoot. I mean, there are that this technology should be adopted, and following with the state Supreme Court also helping, that this has to be completely eradicated. And in fact, every state has been forced with not only with work plan, but money, that not only purchasing all these equipment, but now we are started monitoring that whether you are using it or not. And if wherever, there is some issue involved, I think it's a very, very strange things are happening. That government agencies, they are not employing somebody to go and clean. It is a private contractor or somebody, in a small town, and it's, this thing, So these are the kind of cases that, climate, it has been picked up into the harmonizing human right. Let's see, it's a very different way. Please understand, if the India becomes one of the China plus kind of, manufacturing hub, it means tomorrow the kind of, problem you are going to face basically, it is on the one human right, labor issues, environment, and this thing. So we have started one harmonizing human rights and climate change and business, actually, in business practices. So we start doing those kind of things. About Mr. Sonam Wangchuk, this matter, yes, this country, everybody has right to have his own belief. He has certain belief. You or me or XY, anybody agree or don't agree with this thing? He has been given all the rights to talk about his belief. It is, again, there is a collective will. If whatever, if suppose lay has to be included in Schedule 6, actually, it means what? Somebody is demanding, and it is again the same people have elected some government, and they have to consider it, on merit. So demanding is your basic right. Demanding is your basic right. Within those peaceful, it has to be there, which she is doing. It should not affect public law and order, public order. Yes, you have to do that, this thing. But end of the day, in a democracy, a functional democracy, and we are very proud of this kind of democracy in India, that yes, the same. It cannot be that my will, my way or the highway, that whatever I think is the right thing, that is the best for a human right. Let's not become that kind of arrogance. We should not develop that. Whatever I am preaching, that is the best. There is a parliament, there is a state legislature. Of course, there in Ladakh is not there, but there is a parliament, and let them decide that issue. But yes, demanding is our right. Demanding is our right.
Right to peacefully dissent.
Right to peacefully dissent, yes, my right. But it cannot be, of course, it is not happening there. But it cannot be that you disrupt law and order, you disrupt public order. No, that is not. That is not that. Let's not copy that US, that yes, if you don't agree with the government and that election, process, so we go to capital and we'll have our own government and we'll disrupt our own thing. No, disruption is not accepted. Disruption.
One last round. Yeah, please. I wanted to young women students also, and also the cyber world. We'll come back to that.
I'll try to, but one issue which has been I'll just second. We have taken, all these cyber crime and sexually explicit material, this thing. We have issued advisory. And Mukesh, I'll request you that if you have brought a copy of the advisory, please leave it here. This is available. Actually, you will see that we have done what we do actually, that this kind of sensitive issues where there is a widespread human right violation. There could be one case specific, but there could be widespread. So we do consultation, we do this thing, and we come out of with advisories. So in this last 2 years, basically we have come out with 11 advisories, and people involved in begging, people this what you call consumption of child sexual abuse material on this issue, widows ke upar, because in fact we saw in Varanasi, Mathura, Vrindavan, and other places, begging, people involved in begging. Online is there. I am leaving one copy here, this thing, but it's online. This whole booklet is, this thing. I'll also forward digital copy. So transgender persons, mental health, all these people we are taking on a broader scale. See, the idea is that any kind of violation, which is basically over the time is repeatedly taking, or it is widespread. So we come out with advisories. And that advisory, we start, monitoring that state government, central government, other agencies involved, basically, So you'll find that, this is there. Yeah.
So, identify yourself, please.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Prita. I'm a master's student studying economics in CSP Jaipur. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. You mentioned about basic amenities and the rights to basic amenities. And I was reflecting on that as researcher with JNU. I've been a part of multiple projects where in and around JNU we've been to slums and the duality of a place like Delhi, South Delhi. where you do see embassies, but at the same time you also see slums like Motilal Nehru Camp, Kuli Camp. All these places are within 2 to 3 kilometers radius of JNU. So my question is, and in these cases, the conditions that they live in is appalling. The right to access to water is violated. Their sanitation conditions are extremely poor. So my question here is, as researchers, as scholars, we go there and collect data. But what can we do? That is my first question. And secondly, what can NHRC do on that account? Can they take sole cognizance of anything in that matter? Or is there any action that can be taken?
What is the first question?
About-
That what can we do as students and scholars?
About JJ colonies particularly, or the Jugi Jompudi colonies around, is this the one you're referring to, is the Vasant Vihar one around
Yes,
Chain?
there are multiple ones. One in Vasant Vihar, one right next to National Institute of Health and Family Welfare. So multiple, yeah, I'll have to.
Yeah, yes. First, the gentleman behind you. Yes.
Thank you, sir, for your explanation. And thank you, sir, for the wonderful presentation. I am Shantan Mandopathy from Center for South Asian Studies, SIS JNU. Sir, one of the key shortcomings which keeps on being put about NHRC is like it is a toothless tiger. And one of the reasons, is that it has a time limit. So within 1 year of the human rights violation being occurred, you need to report it. And it has no jurisdiction in the armed forces. So, sir, do you think that NHRC can put pressure on the government to take away to do all these things to make it more proactive and prevention of human rights violation rather than being more reactive for human rights violation occurring after and you jump into the fold after that?
Yes. Please.
Good morning, sir. I'm Sanskriti. It was a great lecture. Thank you for the lecture. It was quite.
Sanskriti, where are you? What are you doing?
I'm doing my master's from CITD.
Okay.
My question, I actually also had a couple of questions. The first one was regarding women's rights, right? If you look at cases in India, like the Arjikar case, Hathras, Unnao, even the biggest Manu case, there seems that there's almost this lack of will on the part of the state machinery to actually hold people accountable or take action on these atrocities that have happened. So, what is your perspective on that, and like how it reflects on the Indian culture, or how we as a culture treat women or even view women? And my second question was regarding equality of opportunity, especially in education that you mentioned, and the state of dissent in the country. Then there were these paper leaks, NEET and UGC NET, a lot of us were affected, and we did end up participating in a lot of protests outside. And in order to maintain public order and not be very disruptive, we were protesting at Jantar Mantar. And we got picked up from there and were detained for the whole day. And like after the sun was down, we were let go. And this has happened on multiple occasions with me as well. At peaceful protests, without disrupting the public order, at Jantar Mantar, a place where you are supposed to go, like state sanctioned dissent, that is the place for it. We were picked up from there by the police quite brutally. So, what is your perspective on that?
Before I ask my colleague, distinguished colleague, Professor Barun Sani, to intervene, let me tell you, Sanskriti, for your benefit, that in 1983, I spent 10 days in Tihar jail. So if you watch Black Warren, I was one of those who stayed behind, didn't escape, stayed on till for the 10 days. And we were all taken thinking that we were protesting and will be hailed as heroes. Next day, amongst the charges that were put against us was attempt to murder, attempt to assault women, against the women as well. So
This time they were threatening that like if we don't come with them peacefully, there'll be such charges against us. So we ended up going peacefully. Actually, they were threatening not to let us go and lodge complaints against us.
but it tells you that there's benefit in all these experiences because apart from the fact that I am Dean, Abhijit Banerjee is a Nobel laureate, and there are several IAS officers who went to Tehran.
I know.
Professor Varun Sani.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. And my name is Varun Sani. I teach international politics here. It was a lovely presentation, actually. I have two questions, if you'll indulge me. And one is that, there is, I think, a category difference between civic and political rights and socio-economic and indeed socio-cultural rights. That is that sort of, when it comes to civic and political rights, it's really claims that the individual makes upon the state. They're in a way claims against the state. Whereas when it comes to the other categories of rights, the socio-economic and socio-cultural, there, in fact, the state is a participant. You can't really, the claims are often not against the state, they're against corporations, they're against other individuals, and so on and so forth. So, in a way, sort of that citizen state or resident state, because technically speaking, it's not just citizens, it's also residents, there's a kind of a basic difference out there, Now, the reason I'm mentioning this is because in countries that we recognize as being authoritarian, like the People's Republic of China, there can be no debate about that, it's an authoritarian political system. The whole discourse is to sort of say the civic and political doesn't matter. Look at the performance legitimacy of the Chinese. Look at everything that we are doing. Look at the the hundreds of millions we pulled out of poverty and all of that. I think for a liberal democracy, with respect, it becomes a bit sort of that kind of an argument, for a country of mass deprivation as our country. Obviously, socioeconomic rights are hugely important. But for a liberal democracy, it seems to me somehow, that first part of it, becomes, in a way, the balance shift and becomes, in some ways, way more important. I really would love to hear a response to that. And I don't have a doctrinal position on this also. The second thing, sir, is, in 2008, there had been an attempt to sort of try and create an Equal Opportunities Commission. And in 2014, that even had sort of reached the floor of parliament. Then, of course, political conditions fundamentally changed in the country. The government changed, and from what I understand, the Equal Opportunities Commission is now yesterday's story. It's no longer a part and parcel of it. And but I would just like you to tell us a bit about that. From the NHRC point of view, is it that the Equal Opportunities Commission envisaged responsibilities have been folded into NHRC, and so in a way NHRC is also sort of focusing on aspects of it, or do you think it's a more complicated story?
Okay, before I ask Shri Bharat Lal to respond, is there anyone else? Let it not be said that in JNU, no one had the right to question the Secretary General of the new National Human Rights Commission. So, Lal, to respond to these questions, and Varun, just to clarify, I think this whole fundamental debate about civic and political rights and economic and social rights was, and their sequencing was fundamental during the Cold War between the position of the Soviet Union and its allies in the West. Bharat.
Yeah. I just have another question.
Is that provoked by the fact that I asked you to speak up, or okay?
Okay, no problem, please.
If
Go ahead.
given the chance, I would like.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would also like to hear your perspective on the UAPA, because a lot of so Umar Khalid, Gulzar Fatima, and their conditions right now, and how the perspective of the National Human Rights Council or the Indian is that is coming to descend. Right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You have the final
Thank you.
words.
So, I'll take all this together. Basic amenities, and NHRC, proactive or reactive. Of course, women right and state of dissent in the. That's four things I'll take together. So my understanding is that, you people are more knowledgeable on this thing. A layman, my understanding and impression is that if we see last 60, 70, 75 years, without any doubt, and before that also, this is our perspective, and as a student, I'm saying this, not as an officer or somebody in a sense. I think India and Indian people, Indian society always has been very conscious about civic and political rights. I would say that my understanding is, again, I repeat, it is not the NHRC position, is my understanding is that India, Indian institution, Indian individual, intellectuals, the discourse, I think it has been, always has been, very focused, preeminently always on civic and political rights, without any doubt. That is my understanding. What is being done, not at the cost of or expense of civic and political right. What has been done and being done, that the kind of importance a country like India and Indian people should get, it must get equal emphasis on socio-economic and cultural right. I mean, I would not like to use that, this thing that empty stomach is talking about every, only on civic and political rights. I think we have to ensure that stomach doesn't remain, empty. We have to ensure that basic those roti, kapda, and makan should be available to everybody. So it's not like that civic and political right has been relegated, or it's not that. Yes, the socio-economic and cultural right has got equal importance, and there is emphasis that people should get it, because it is the government has taken upon itself that responsibility, that basic amenities we will see. See, we always, and that's why we feel and we get that perception that, well, I think we are focusing too much on socio-economic and cultural right rather than on civic and political right. Please understand and appreciate that civic and political right is justiciable. It is a fundamental right given in the constitution. Court is proactive. Tell me where in the world you have this kind of courts actually. Somebody should tell me, in fact. Will we love to, this thing that courts are so independent. Just imagine the evolution, the whole appointment system, but more importantly, PIL concept. Rarest of the rare, instrument has been developed, that anybody, poorest of the poor, for his, not only for socio-political, this thing, even socio-economic and culture also can go to court and they can take cognizance and start, this thing. So my my firm understanding is that civic and political right has not been relegated or given secondary importance. They remain primary, and constitution and the whole system is able to take care of. What has been done, that socio-economic and cultural right, we were not given that much attention. And this concept of that nobody is left behind. No one is left behind. I think government and agencies and organizations, they are focused because people of this country are demanding. I mean, this girl, you are demanding that basic amenities should be there. You are demanding, people of this country are demanding that basic amenities should be there, and that's why it is being done. Let's understand this issue. This is my understanding. About National Human Rights Commission, as I said, there are three things. A, complaints which come, B, you take action, process. B, suo motu cognizance. Suo motu cognizance is a proactive. If I give you data, 2 years back, in one financial year, only 18 cases were taken suo motu. Previous year, year before, this thing, it went to 760 or 76 or something. Last year it had crossed 100. This year also it has crossed. So proactively, National Human Rights Commission is taking cognizance. Proactively, this is going. It will be interesting to find out, this thing. If you look at the data is available. In fact, last 3 years, regular complaints are coming down. It's a very strange phenomenon is taking place actually, which used to be like 128,000 annually. Last year it was 76,000. Working days, it used to be 500 complaint daily. We are getting 300 complaint daily. These are coming out. And third thing is this advisory, which we mentioned. This is again proactive. When you see the data, your cases that this kind of trend, this kind of violation are taking place, our attention is not being paid, we take proactive. That, okay, issue advisory and ensure that, So National Human Rights Commission, I think, as per my understanding, within the, our capacity. In fact, mindset in the National Human Rights Commission, I have seen, it is always with the victim actually. Any complaint come, you believe that yes, violation has taken place. This is the approach actually. It is the authorities we have to prove that they are not taking place. So it is taking proactive, it is taking, not only reactive, but yes, if there are cases, it reacts to that, this thing. Well, about women right, I would say, I think you will agree in last 15, 20, 30 years, tremendous progress has taken place. Yes, it's not like that the journey is complete. But it start if a political front for 73rd Amendment, reservation of women in local self-government. Imagine this country, 1.4 million women representative in rural areas are working. Imagine with this new amendment in the constitution, in between, if you see various, enabling provision, whether it's a maternity benefit or crèche or, full-time visit to, or an adoption, if you see all the number of, this thing. So women rights and women issues, I think the whole country is attentive, and we all, people like me, believe in a different capacity that women empowerment, education, skilling, safety, security, this is the leapfrog factor in this country's developmental journey. This is the one thing, a very common sense, that one family, instead of having one male earning member, you can have two men. Very, very simple. And I think whole government, whole society is unfocused. This thing, I think it's not only government, it's the whole society. I think people like you and everybody is concerned about this part. Well, dissent, my fundamental right? Non-negotiable. I have my own views. Sir has shared with you. I have few seniors who had joined civil service, and those days during emergency and after that, they will tell you number of stories which happened, and you might have seen a different kind of little bit. What you call typical Indian movies, something in this film emergency or something. There's a different kind of a story, but I think we all have, belief that yes, for that matter, JNU or any other institution, never, that dissent is not acceptable. Yes, public order and this thing. I have every reason to believe what you are saying. No reason to disbelieve you, and no excuse to this. But yes, aberration can take place. That even peaceful demonstration or peaceful dissent, maybe that some authorities, some individual, but please don't understand that is a state policy. No, please don't do this. That is not the state policy. Individual aberration or somewhere some police officer or some cases in National Human Rights Commission, I see that many a times cases come where you feel what this police station or these people have done. But please understand that is not the state policy. That is aberration actually. That is aberration, Cognizance now, even still today in India, in some cases, some instances, FIR has not been lodged, for 24 hours, and 14 famous cases you have heard. But please don't think that is the state policy or is happening everywhere. Let's not get, that one bad case, 2 bad cases, 10 bad cases. That is the, we paint the whole country, I'm sorry, I'm using very sensitive case actually. If you just remember that what happened in Calcutta Medical College, RG Medical, that is not everywhere is happening. That should not happen. That we have to ensure that it should not happen in any, this thing. But that is not the thing that it is happening whole country. That is my only this thing. Sir, civic and political right versus socioeconomic, this thing I have given, sir has already explained you. But when it comes to equal opportunity, my sense is that the whole governance, that I was there for 1 year. Actually, I work in National Center for Good Governance, and I will tell you that the whole governance is basically based on equal opportunity. When I'm in this present capacity, I cannot talk. But when Prime Minister or somebody, they talk about policy-led, not individual person. Anything, it has to be policy-led. It's all about equal opportunity. If you see digital governance, whatever is being done, it is, this thing. Today, at least, we cannot say that in many areas, it is being eliminated. And obviously, National Human Rights Commission, whenever it keeps on studying. In fact, we have young professional, around 20 young professional and 20 law graduates, actually, again, legal research consultant, Most of the work is basically on these kind of things, actually, where whether it's a generic violation is taking place or systemic improvement need to be done or equal opportunities or, this thing. And we entertain those cases. If it comes to us or, we entertain those cases and we do that because we believe that if equal opportunity is denied, it means it's a violation of human right. But most importantly, sir, we try to practice it. In the National Human Rights Commission also, please understand that these 20 young professionals have to be selected. It has to be due process, not that somebody somebody recommended, or these young legal research. No, we don't do that. No, you might have worked with the anywhere experience, but no, And I'm very proud, I repeat, this thing, that whether it's a GNU or National Human Rights Commission, it's a conviction. It's a conviction. In fact, I always say this, Renu is sitting here, she's known to me. With her background, she came from a Haryana, a small village. She reached here. She completed her PhD. That is a testament of, GNU's approach. So thank you also for having me here.
Thank you.
And whatever documents and whatever papers, I'll send the set of papers or whatever you require. I would like that kindly remain engaged with National Human Rights Commission. If you find that there are shortfall, there needs something more need to be done, you are most welcome. Most welcome. We don't need that you praise NHRC. No, that's not what we need. There are shortfall in this area, NHRC should be working. Always welcome. And last, before closing, I would love to see that GNU get involved. We have 3-4 schemes actually. One is that we have collaborative training program. B, we have research projects also, that we fund research projects actually on human rights issues. Third is conferences, seminar, and symposia. I would like that get involved. And I mean, again, there also we have put a very, very transparent system. We have put on the website every quarterly. We make proposal and examine and done. And so thank you for having me here. It was wonderful.
Thank you
try
very
to,
much.
thanks.
And before I ask Dr. Shantesh Singh to give the formal vote of thanks, a small token
Sir,
of remembrance. Sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Professor Shantesh.
Thank you, sir. Hello, everyone. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. To begin with, first of all, a big thank you to Secretary General NHRC, Bharat Lal sir, for sparing his valuable time to grace the occasion and making us enlightened a very pertinent topic of present times, human rights in a globalized world. Sir, we are all inspired by your great words. Thank you. Thank you so much. I would like to express my regards and thanks to the Dean, Professor Inta Mattu sir, under whose able leadership the whole event is being organized. Dear sir, your vast experience and continuous guidance has helped us a lot in organizing this event successfully. I am thankful to all members of the organizing committee of the 70th year anniversary, directly or indirectly, to conduct the event smoothly. Thank you. Thank you. I would like to thank to Sakti Sichan and his team for all the efforts to make the event live on YouTube and other social media platforms. From the bottom of my heart, I am grateful and thank all the honorable dignitaries, colleagues, and students who have taken out their precious time to make this event a great success. Thank you very much to everyone. Thank you. Thanks, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you very much. Sir.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.